Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 4.28. Now this is a pretty interesting sutra because it's telling us how we can actually reduce the sanskaras and some of the vasanas and the gaps that keep appearing in the nirbija samadhi. So let's take a good look at this sutra, start breaking it up word by word to understand each of the meanings, and then start to understand the overall theme and the whole concept of this sutra. So the sutra itself goes, Hana mesham klesha vaduktam. Alright, so the first word over here is hana. Now hana means the destruction, removal, annihilation of something. So that is hana. Then the next word is esham. So esham means of these. Alright, so we'll come to know of what, but it means of these. The next word is klesha, and klesha refers to the ultimate causes of pain and misery. So that is the klesha which we studied in all the previous sutras, and that is what is being referred to here as klesha. And then finally the next word is vat or vad, which means like or in the same manner. And the final word, of course, over here, which is ukta, which means described as or said as. Alright, so these are all the different words and the different categories. And now let's start understanding what exactly is the sutra trying to say. So the sutra is saying that the annihilation or the permanent removal of these, and now of these could be with reference to sanskaras, pratyayas, or the chidras or the gaps that we were talking about in the previous sutra. So all of these can be annihilated or removed in the same way in which the kleshas were removed or taken care of. So this is a very direct, to the point, short and compact sutra. It's literally just telling us that, look, if in nirbija samadhi you keep having interruptions, there are constantly sanskaras or other things rising up to the surface, you need to remove them in the same way that you took care of the kleshas and you removed the kleshas in chapter number 2. So now let's take a trip down memory lane and start to recollect what had we done in that particular sutra, in that particular removal of the kleshas, and how is that applicable in this case. So over there we were taught that in 2.10, Sutra 2.10, that if you really want to remove all of the kleshas, you need to focus on counter evolution, which basically means Purusha Prakriti, instead of being in this illusion of togetherness, need to counter evolve and go backwards. So this is the same thing now that is being told to us here as well. And then the question arises, well, how do you do counter-evolution? Counter-evolution is essentially Kaivalya. And Kaivalya is to be achieved through the practice of yoga, practicing all the 8 limbs of yoga, living it as a philosophy and a lifestyle. And then, of course, as you move closer and closer, making sure that you are actually going on the path of Sankhya and the backward movement through your samadhi practices and so on and so forth. So the most important thing that you can understand from this is the only way this is going to happen is consistent practice or consistent abhyas. Without that consistent abhyas, it will be very challenging because you keep having gaps. It's like anything that we go to practice, even if we're doing yoga asanas, we try to do it every day. What's going to happen is that the more we are trying to do this, there could be some days or weeks where we're really lethargic, it's not working out, and then so you take 3-4 days off. Then what happens when you try to come back on the 5th day? It's harder because you've lost that momentum and flow that you had earlier and you start all over again. So same applies here as you're trying to master nirbija samadhi, move towards dharma megha samadhi. The most important thing in that case is to really be consistent and do the abhyas, do all the yoga angas, and to move forward very, very consistently. Because if that doesn't happen, then there's a high chance of these gaps increasing, and then there's like a tendency to go back and forth between the understanding of yoga and being in the real world, and it's just like a back and forth dance. Now, what is really, really important to remember also is a lot of these sutras in the latter half of chapter 4 are more and more applicable to very devoted spiritual practitioners of the yoga practice. All of us may not be that spiritually inclined as yet, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe not in the current stage that we're in. That doesn't mean that we'll never be inclined to it. We may just not be in that position right now. So I want to tell you that in case you're a modern day yoga practitioner, you're somebody that's just learning this for academic purposes, or you're just interested in it, it's okay. You don't have to look at the sutra and be like, oh my God, I need to devote the rest of my day to just doing Nirvija Samadhi and getting to the other end. It's more about knowing this, having that knowledge of it, and then as much as you can, with your capacity, with sincerity, going on the path of yoga. We have to keep that awareness that everything won't happen in a single day, like Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. But it's important to be aware as to what your goals are, how deep you want to go, and how you're going to make that happen. So don't let any of these sutras overwhelm you at all in any way. Just take it as it comes, as you're learning. And then when you're ready and your mind, body are supportive of it, you will be able to go deeper into these spiritual realms and practices as well. But until then, best to keep learning, keep growing, and when the time is right, all of it will happen anyway. Alright, so this is Sutra 4.28. I hope you enjoyed learning about this sutra. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Drop your comments in the comment section below. And also don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, especially those that will benefit from the understanding of the Yoga Sutras. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for further notifications and to stay informed as to when we're releasing new videos. We look forward now to seeing you in the next video, the next class, course or workshop, the links for which will be in the description. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care, keep practicing, and we'll see you very soon. Namaste.